21, what type of question is this?
It's like an analogy one. I don't know what I'm supposed to follow.
Yeah, it's a matching question, parallel reasoning in particular.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're trying to find the argument that does the same thing, right? So one thing I would do is I'd look at the original argument and look at, first of all, I just try to figure out how it's structured, right? So really quick, the only songs that Amanda has ever written are blues songs and punk rock songs. So this is all she's ever done, these two things. Are we cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Most punk rock songs involve no more than 3 chords. Okay, I'm not really sure what to think about that. Because if that's true for most punk rock songs, is that going to be true for the ones that she has written?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. She could be part of that small group of ones that don't, right? That have a lot of lines. Or it could be that all of her songs fall into this category because she's decided to keep them all to 3 chords. Are we cool with that?
Yeah.
Just trying to evaluate the argument. Did you do this while you read it?
What?
Did you do this while you read it?
I think subconsciously maybe.
Subconsciously. My mind will do the work. I'm going to think about Hawaii right now. Okay, Grace, just checking. So, if the next song Amanda writes is not a blues song, it will probably not involve more than 3 chords. Okay, they gave us 2 options, right? She does 1 of 2 things. And they gave us a characteristic about one of the options. Are we cool with this?
Yeah.
And I'm not so confident about this reasoning, but then they said, well, if she doesn't do the first option, she must be doing the second option, which is probably going to have this characteristic. That's my abstract interpretation of this argument.
Okay.
Now, as we go through the answer choices, do you want to go through all of them or just particular ones?
Actually, yeah. If some you can rule out quickly, but there were like 2 that I found tempting that were both wrong.
Okay, so let's go through them all. I'm going to look for something that has a similar kind of structure, right?
Okay.
There's 2 options. One of the options has a certain characteristic, so if this person doesn't do the other option, then they'll be theoretically doing this. In theory, they should be doing the second option, and that option is likely to have these certain characteristics. Is that too abstract, or is that?
No, that makes sense.
Okay. A, the only pets that the Gupta family has ever owned are fish and parrots. Okay. Most parrots are very noisy. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Right? 2 options, and we now know about most of one of them. So if the next pet the Gupta family owns is a parrot, it will probably be very noisy.
Don't like it because it's not the other thing. Right?
That's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, they need to say if the next parrot owns is what?
Well, it would be if they own a fish, it will not be noisy.
Oh no, I think it would have to be if they do not own a fish.
Oh.
It's pretty
Yeah,
close.
okay.
If I say if they own a parrot, then it'd probably be noisy. Like it's kind of the same kind of reasoning, except for that last little part. Instead of negating the other option, they affirmed the second option.
Okay. Gotcha.
Cool. All right, B. Most parrots are very noisy. Does it matter that was first?
Not necessarily.
Nope, doesn't matter at all. So we don't care about the order of the premises and stuff. We just care that they are presented at some point.
Okay.
The Gupta family has never owned any pets other than fish and parrots. Okay, that's a weird way of saying the same thing, right? They only have these 2 options. So if the Gupta family has ever owned a noisy pet, what do you think about this?
It reverses.
Yeah, it's going to the noisy first instead of going to one of the options. I don't like this.
Okay.
D. Every pet the Gupta family has ever owned has been a fish or a parrot. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Yep. Most parrots are very noisy.
Yep.
They really stuck to this theme. So if the next pet the Gupta family owns is not a parrot, wait a sec, is not a parrot,
It's not a fish.
is not a fish, right? We need to negate the other option so we can get back to parrots.
Wait.
Hold on.
You're
It
on-
says not a fish.
Yeah, you're on C, but I think you were reading D.
Oh, I'm on C and then I skip down to D?
I think
Yeah, you don't want to combine answer choices because then you're going to get definitely something wrong. Okay, sorry. So, okay, let's go back to C. I don't even know what I said about C there. All pets the family's ever owned have been fish and parrots.
Yeah.
It starts as to say, most parrots are very noisy. Okay, so far so good, right?
I'm just like,
So any pet the Gupta family ever owns that is not a fish will probably be very noisy. Okay, it does say not a fish, which is nice, but
Yeah.
what does it do that's a little different than the original?
it says every.
Yeah, So any
Or
pet.
any, sorry.
Yeah, as opposed to what?
If they own a fish, it will probably not be noisy.
If they do, if the next one they get, right? Remember,
Uh-huh.
the next one they get is not a fish.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Then yeah. Okay, so I like the fish part about C, but I don't like the fact that it's just talking about any pet ever, right?
Okay.
Okay, now let's go to D, which I tried to do earlier. Every pet the family has ever owned has been a fish or a parrot. Great. Most parrots are very noisy. Great. Are we okay with that? What?
It's good. It's
Okay.
good so far, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good argument. Very interesting. So the next pet the group the family owns is not a parrot. It will probably not be very noisy.
Oh, that doesn't make sense. Or, well, no, this actually doesn't seem that bad.
Wait, why do you say it doesn't seem that bad?
Okay, so, it fits with not a, I didn't even pick this one the first time, and it's not the right answer either, but I'm just thinking about it.
Sure.
So it's not a blues song fits with not a parrot. Or no, it should be not a fish.
It should be not a fish because
Okay.
remember they said most punk rock songs involve no more than three chords, and then it says if it's not a blues song, i.e. if it's a punk rock song, then blah blah blah.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, gosh, I hope it's E. The Gupta family has never owned any pets other than fish and parrots. So far, so good. Most parrots are very noisy. Wow, they really stuck to that theme. So, I mean, I know I said that before, but they didn't even change like the first two sentences at all. So it's all about the conclusion. In any case, so the next pet the Gupta family owns, sounds good, will probably be very noisy if it is not a fish.
Yes, that works.
And
And
what
it's
did they try to
confusing 'cause
do?
it's flipped, but
Yeah, they put the if clause at the end, but we don't care where the if clause is as long as it's an if clause and not a then clause, right?
okay. How would you? I mean, I feel like I could conceivably get this in a
Okay.
test, but I think it would take me so long that I would be like, oh my god, I'm not gonna like think about this. Let's just pick one.
Well, I mean, one thing that we did here, something that I do to always try to make this go faster is I try to make the argument abstract. Like I try to think, okay, I got option 1 and option 2, thing 1, thing 2. You know, just go back to Dr. Seuss. Thing 1 and thing 2. Most of thing 2 have a characteristic. So if it's not thing 1, it's thing 2, then it probably has that characteristic.
Okay.
I think what happened when you got tripped up a little bit was like the not a fish. So one way to quickly analyze that is to say, no problem. If notice it says in the conclusion that the next song is not a blues song, and you can just go right back to it said most punk rock. So you know that we're saying the opposite. We're saying the other thing when we go from the second premise to the conclusion.
Okay.
Because the reason I'm focusing in on the most punk rock is it's something that's very easy to identify in all of these answer choices. Because all of these answer choices say most, and so you know that whatever comes right after most is going to be equivalent to punk rock.
Yeah.
And that is what we're going to see the opposite of that in the if clause of the conclusion. Right? Instead of saying punk rock, they're going to say not blues. So if we see punk rock in the if clause of the conclusion, we know it's wrong.
Okay.
And that's why when it said, if the next pet the family owns is a parrot, we're thinking, wait, you just said most parrots, and now you're saying if
Yeah,
parrot or if
switch.
not a parrot or whatever, we need to go to the other thing,
Yeah.
whatever that other thing is.
Yeah.
That would
That
be
makes
one
sense.
fast way to sort of get through this, is to focus in on like basically idea indicators. So most would be an idea indicator because whatever comes right after most is we now know that's got to be equivalent to punk rock. And whatever comes after the if in the conclusion's got to be equivalent to not blues.
Okay.
Like things that you can just kind of zero in and ignore the fluff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.